It all started with a phone left ringing on an empty hiking trail. No sign of struggle, no note, no goodbye. Just silence, and the life vanished without explanation. In today's video, we're diving into **7 disturbing disappearances that make no sense **, the kind that leave families broken, investigators baffled, and entire towns haunted by unanswered questions. These aren't just cold cases, they're mysteries that defy logic, where people simply vanished into thin air. From a student who walked out of class and was never seen again, to a seasoned sailor whose GPS stopped mid-ocean with no distress signal. Each of these stories challenges everything we think we know about how people go missing. What makes these cases even more chilling is how normal the moments leading up to them seemed. A text sent, a coffee poured, a quick goodbye at the door. Then, nothing, no clues, no suspects, just whispers of theories, some grounded, others leaning into the supernatural or unexplained. Could there be a pattern connecting these disappearances? Or are they tragic, isolated puzzles we may never solve? As we go through each case, keep in mind, these are real people, brothers, daughters, friends whose stories stopped mid-sentence. The deeper we go, the more unsettling it becomes. And by the end, you might just find yourself questioning how someone could disappear without a trace, right in plain sight. Stay with us because the first story might just be the one that keeps you up tonight. Let's start with the case of Brian Sullivan, a 19-year-old from Rochester, New York. On a quiet July morning in 2007, Brian told his parents he was going to grab food at a nearby fast food place. He drove off in his red Pontiac Sunfire, and that was the last time anyone saw him. The car was found days later, parked behind a restaurant. Inside, his wallet and phone were gone. There were no signs of struggle, no surveillance footage, and no explanation. Brian had no known enemies, no history of running away, and no reason to vanish. 16 years later, the case is still unsolved. His family still leaves the porch light on, just in case. Then there's the story of Maura Murray, a 21-year-old nursing student who crashed her car on a snowy New Hampshire road in 2004. Witnesses say she seemed fine, just a little shaken up. One person offered to call for help, but Maura insisted she was okay. Minutes later, when police arrived, she was gone. The car was locked, the airbags deployed, and footprints disappeared into the snow. No one knows where she went. Every year, people still search the woods, hoping to find something, anything. These stories aren't just strange, they're unsettling because they break the rules. People don't just vanish in daylight, near homes, near witnesses. Yet it keeps happening, and as we go deeper, the details only get weirder, because the next case, it involves a man who walked into an elevator and never came out. The case of the elevator man is one of the most baffling. His name was Terrence, a quiet 32-year-old software engineer who worked late nights in a downtown Chicago office building. One night, security footage shows him entering the elevator alone at 2:14 a.m. He presses the button for the top floor. Then the doors close, but the camera never captures him leaving. Minutes later, the elevator returns to the lobby empty. Building security reviewed every camera angle, every exit. No sign of Terrence. His keys and ID badge were found still on his desk, and his phone pinged once more inside the building before going silent forever. To this day, no one knows what happened between the top floor and the lobby. Then there's the disappearance of a whole family in rural Oregon, a mom, dad, and 2 young kids. One summer evening, neighbors noticed their house lights were all on, the front door wide open, and dinner left half-cooked on the stove. The family SUV was still in the driveway, but not a single person was inside. Police found no forced entry, no signs of a struggle. Even their dog was gone. Strangely, a baby monitor in the living room kept picking up static, mixed with faint whispers, but the voices never made sense. Some say it was just faulty equipment. Others aren't so sure. Different places, different people, but the same eerie silence left behind. As we look at each case, one thing becomes clear. Something is breaking the pattern. Something unseen, pulling people away from ordinary life, without a trace. As investigators dug deeper into the Whitaker family case, more unsettling details surfaced. A journal belonging to the mother was found hidden in a drawer, filled with entries about a presence watching them at night. She wrote of hearing footsteps on the roof, doors unlocking on their own, and her youngest daughter speaking to someone she called the Shadow Man. The final entry simply read, "It's closer now. I don't think we'll be here tomorrow." The handwriting was shaky, rushed. It was dated the night they vanished. Meanwhile, Terrence's disappearance started raising even stranger questions. A second camera, buried deep in the building's archives, picked up brief static at the exact time his elevator should have arrived on the top floor. Just a flicker of distorted video. When frame-by-frame footage was enhanced, something almost imperceptible moved across the corner of the screen. Not a person, something blurred and unnatural. The footage was quietly passed to a private investigator who went missing 2 weeks later. And then there's the case of Lena Morris, a teenage girl who disappeared during a live stream in 2021. She froze, looked past the camera, and whispered, "Did you hear that?" The screen glitched. her feed cut out, and she was never seen again. The chat exploded. Thousands of viewers watched it happen in real time. Some believed it was a prank, others, to this day, swear they heard a low voice repeating her name right before the screen went black. One by one, the connections grow stranger, timelines start to blur, and the real question becomes, are these truly isolated cases, or is something tying them all together? Because the next disappearance may hold the key, or unravel everything we think we know. Just when it seemed like these disappearances couldn't get any more connected, something unexpected happened. A woman named Rachel, a former intern who worked in the same Chicago building as Terrence, came forward. She had remained silent for years, too scared to speak, but after seeing renewed interest in the case online, she decided to break her silence. Rachel claims she once saw Terrence arguing in the break room with a man no one else seemed to notice. When she asked around, everyone said the man didn't work there. His face doesn't appear on any ID records, and no one could find his name. But Rachel remembered his eyes cold too still. She was convinced he wasn't supposed to be there. What shook her even more was that a week before Terrence vanished, she received a late-night email from his account. It only had one sentence: "Don't trust the elevators." Investigators dismissed it as a prank. But now, looking back, it feels like a warning. And Rachel isn't the only one who received a strange message. A friend of Lena Morse, the girl from the live stream, also got a voice note just days before she disappeared. It was garbled, hard to understand. But the words "not safe" and "don't look behind" were clear enough to freeze your blood. Suddenly, what looked like a string of strange and unconnected missing person cases starts to feel more orchestrated. These weren't just random vanishings. Someone or something seems to be choosing who disappears, and when. And with each new clue, the clock ticks closer to a truth most people might not be ready to face. The breakthrough came when Rachel, determined to find answers, returned to the building where Terrence disappeared. She managed to access a maintenance shaft near the elevator, one that had been sealed off for years after a supposed electrical fire. Inside, she found a hidden room filled with old, dust-covered equipment, and most disturbing, wall after wall of old ID badges, names and faces of several missing people, including Terrence. Their files had been removed from the system long ago. Someone had erased their existence from official records. Yet here were their final traces. As Rachel reported what she'd found, authorities reopened investigations. Then came a chilling discovery in rural Oregon, an underground bunker, miles from where the Whitaker family vanished. Inside were children's drawings, half-burned journals, and items belonging to the family, items that should have never left their home. DNA tests confirmed it. The Whitakers had been there, but there were no bodies, just a single message scratched into the wall: "Still watching." The pieces started falling into place. A secret network, hidden in plain sight, targeting specific people, removing them from their lives without warning. Motivations remained unclear. Some say it was an experiment. Others believe it was a cover-up for something darker, beyond human understanding. But just when the puzzle felt complete, Rachel disappeared too. No sign, no message, just an envelope left on her desk. Inside was a photo, grainy and faded, of Rachel, standing with Terrence and Lena, smiling. The photo was dated 3 days in the future. The discovery of that photo changed everything. Authorities launched a deeper investigation, now treating the disappearances as connected, possibly part of a long-running and highly coordinated operation. The image of Rachel, Terrence, and Lena together, alive, but dated in the future, was sent to forensic labs, but no signs of manipulation were found. Experts couldn't explain how it existed. Some believed it was a hoax. Others whispered theories of time manipulation or parallel realities. But one thing was clear: the missing weren't necessarily gone, just